Here we are. It's the coziest time of the year.
And we are ready to do some baking.
Well, baking with felt. Why not? Our first, well, actually, to talk about the baking, the theme this month that we wanted to bring is a little bit more of that home baking, stay at home, that coziness of smelling those cookies in the oven. Of course, none of these are really edible, but they still kind of bring that warm, cozy vibe.
Yes, and I think we've got a very classic sort of Christmas collection this year with
do.
all of these reds and greens. It's very true to the classic, which I think is really fun.
It is, and it's just, it just reminds me of Grandma.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of Grandma,
here we go. These little cookies are so adorable. I mean, I think when I saw these come in, that, Krista made them.
I like this one the best.
Yeah, they're so pretty and detailed, and they're a great little project if you want to learn some of these stitches. And the thing I love about these is if you look at, what we've created so far in our felt food, this would actually be a great collection to go into the felt food.
Yeah, doesn't need the strings.
It doesn't need the strings. Or you can use them, with the strings and use them as little Christmas tree decorations.
And I called these heirloom ornaments because you'd make these, you could put them in your ornament collection and bring them out every year forever.
Yeah, you could. And this is all kind of in the flavor of a gingerbread.
And I love the little crystal gems she added.
Oh, so cute. And this little plate is from a different collection. I think this was from a breakfast a long time ago, but we pulled it out because it just was so cute. So there we go.
Next in our felt stuffy collection is this cardinal.
And this has been a member request, and I love how it just fits right into our little bird collection.
And I called him Arnold.
Yes.
Arnold the Cardinal.
It's a perfect name. Yes. I think you could use that, as a Christmas decoration or even as a gift. I love thinking of any of these type of things on our table today as gifts as well.
Yeah, you could put them in a little nest on your mantle. I think it would look really cute.
Or on top of your tree. The next project is actually one that we brought back from a few years ago because it's so cute.
So cute. I want to make this.
Yes, this is a little gingerbread. And I love this because, you make your gingerbread houses from gingerbread and then they're gone. But this one you can use again and again. Originally, go ahead.
I was going to say, and it's practical. But
yes. Well, originally it was made as a Christmas tree topper, which that's a possibility. Or you can just use it as a little box. And our teammate Jessie had a really great idea. You could add a chimney on top and then use that to pull out your tissues and use it as a tissue box.
So funny.
So many possibilities. I love this thing.
I think it's so cute. And that would be such a fun one to do with young crafters. Decorate something. It's mostly glue. There's not a lot of stitching in this one.
Yeah, there's just a little bit of detail stitching. And again, I have to throw out one more idea for how to use this.
Yeah.
This could be a fun little gift drop for the little ones or big ones, whichever, where maybe every day you put in a new little Christmas gift for 12 days of Christmas.
Cute.
So many cute ideas. Okay, our next project.
We have these felt poinsettas.
Yeah, these are I love the shape of these. They're just so kind of roughly because of the way that they're pinched together. It actually inspired me to want to go back and make some new red poinsettas from crepe paper.
Yeah, the classic.
Yeah, they're just so beautiful. And look at gift toppers. You can put them in an arrangement.
You could wear it on your shirt.
You could, or your hat.
Or in your hair.
So again, so many things you can do with this. And you can use these again a year
And for me,
year.
nothing says Christmas like a poinsettia. I remember Grandma, your mom, always had the poinsettas in her green room.
That's probably why I never did.
Yeah.
But I'm starting to like them again. So you know how it is. I love my mom. Okay. Now we're moving into some other felt projects. This one is probably one of my favorite wreaths that we've made for Christmas. I love the monochromatic look.
And it's got all these little details in the flowers. If you look close, it's just like a feast for the eyes. All these little flowers tucked in there. It looks so simple from far away.
Yeah, and again, it's a year after year project. And I like that she built this one on, this is on the It's
a foam?
No, it's not foam. It's no,
the
straw.
straw.
Thank you. It's the straw wreath.
You can't even see it. It's all covered in the back.
It's all covered. But the thing that I found with the foam is you drop them and they shatter. And when you put that much work into something, it's great to have, something you can use again and again.
Yeah. Yes. And next up, we have this super cute little handmade bear.
Yes. This, we actually worked with a designer outside of our company to come up with this. She's very good at sewing. She's a good sewist, and we'll put her name in the post so you can go check out what else she does. So she's an amazing sewist, and she also cut this all out on the Cricut.
Can I
so
see?
those of you who do have Cricuts, you can.
And look at these little articulated legs and arms.
Yes, it has a little Winnie the Pooh vibe.
Definitely.
Yeah, and you can make it in any color as well. We have it in pink that we gave to our little Poppy, who's one of our models that comes into our office. I just think this is so cute. You could also put beans in the base so it sits up a little easier. And
yes, and talk about a great homemade Christmas gift. This would be such a lovely gift to any little ones in your life or adults that like to have cute stuffed bears.
Some of us do, indeed. All right.
And talking about little ones, these are very little stockings.
They are. I love having little miniature stockings that you can just tuck into, small spaces and fill them up with goodies. Again, this could be in a child's room, or you can sneak it into one of your coworkers' office spaces and fill it with goodies. I don't know. It just has so many potential.
As long as my stocking can fit a chocolate orange, that's all I need.
That's probably about all that would fit in that stocking. And again, we're going off that quilting motif that's been so popular. We had some of those in the last month as well. And I love the way those just are so simple. You can add any color.
I know there's a name for those kinds of quilting. It's like quilting stars, or I'm sure you guys will all tell us in the comments, but I know there's a name for this.
It was right at the tip of my tongue and then it left, so we'll just leave it at that. Why don't you guys tell us what are these called? Because I'm sure a lot of you know. Okay.
And we have these very cute little felt ball star ornaments, and this is a great way to use the felt balls in such a creative way because you can stitch right through them, and these would look great on a tree as a gift topper. So simple to make, and also a great activity for some of the younger ones who are wanting to learn how to use a needle and stitch things together. Yeah, definitely, because these felt balls are on the smaller side. You don't have to worry about like some of the big ones. When you stitch through, you have to use pliers, but these are the perfect size if you want somebody to get comfortable using a needle. Yeah, and of course we have the full tutorial on how to put these together, so you know what direction. It's surprisingly simple, but I don't think I would be able to do it without some instruction. Yeah. Right, stepping away from felt for just a moment because we like our felt. These are adorable. They're so cute, and these are gift boxes. And this is just made from our, the craft pack paper. So this is just a slightly thicker brown paper. And the way that she put this together is so clever. I have a video that I've been working on for you guys, and it's really cool to see how these are put together. Yeah, what a fun little added DIY touch if you're going to give somebody some treats. So adorable. Love these. All right, and then another cardstock project. This is the big one. This is the one that I made this holiday, and I'm so proud of it. I think this is my favorite thing I've ever made here. Yeah, I absolutely love it too. And when Anna and I were photographing, what I did is I took little Post-it notes and tucked them inside of the doors. You could just write inside if you wanted to, but I didn't want to make it permanent. So I put little Post-it notes in, so it's up to you how you do it. But the thing that really hit me on this project, because they are just cute little paper doors, it's an opportunity for you to bring in activities and experiences and memories, rather than, here's a piece of candy. It's like, today we're going to make cookies with grandma, or today we're going to go ice skating, or any of those types. Watch a Christmas movie, decorate a tree. I think it's fill every day with a little memory that you can create together. I think it's really special. Also, making this was so fun. It's like a little puzzle.
Yeah.
So making it can be a memory.
Yes, if you're a puzzle lover, you would probably really enjoy this piece. So.
I very much enjoyed making it and designing it.
And putting it in a frame too, I thought was really clever, because then it becomes kind of a year after year piece that you can bring out, and it will stay nice and fresh.
Especially if you use Post-its.
Yeah. All right, we're back to cookies again. This is our cookie sheet, our little baking sheet. And this is for the little ones who are learning how to count. I sat down with Poppy and we played with this for a little bit.
You were calling these counting cookies, right?
Counting cookies, yeah.
Counting cookies. So cute. And this is no sew. There's no sewing. It's all just iron on and cut.
And heat transfer.
And even if you hand cut these, I think having little imperfect circles would be super cute, just like a regular cookie.
Yeah. So again, all the steps to make that will be in the project post.
Great. And next up we have the trees, the honeycomb trees.
All right, now these honeycomb trees are a bit of a remake from the last ones that we had. We've actually perfected our method of putting together honeycomb because we've been doing it a lot. So I wanted this to be an update. These trees are so popular. They're one of our most, I don't know, they're very high on the popularity list. So I wanted them to be perfect. And when Megan was assembling, these are all made from cardstock. You could make them from frosted paper, but cardstock works well.
And they're dense.
They're very dense. Like this, well, you can't fold it back, but I think if it was stored properly, again, it's a year after year heirloom type project. And I love the beads on the top. You could paint them if you wanted to.
That would be cute. I was thinking a little star would be cute
put a
on
star.
the top.
Yeah.
And who was it that was saying they saw a bunch of honeycomb? Was it you, Jesse? You were saying there was a bunch of honeycomb at Target or at West Elm. It's just everywhere right now. And so why not make your own?
Yeah, make your own. And the process and, doing it with a friend or doing it with one of your family members will just add more memories. Very fun to make. Yeah.
Yay. All right, we're moving over to flowers.
Another favorite flower that we're kind of focusing on this month is this narcissus flower. And this is just so delightful and pretty that you could give it as a gift. It looks great in the kitchen or anywhere in the house. I don't know. I just kind of always see this in the kitchen.
Yeah, and I love this little glowing pink in the inside.
It's kind of a golden pinkish orangey color. So I wanted to bring that back into focus. And you can also use this to decorate throughout the new year as well. It doesn't have to go away after Christmas.
Yay. And Megan made these incredibly impressive seeded eucalyptus branches. These are so cool, and she's using this new technique that she's been doing quite a lot. It started with the wheat to make these berries, and they are it's so neat. It's all crepe paper.
This is probably the most lifelike seeded eucalyptus I've ever seen. And I would say, because I like to arrange flowers, I would just sit down and make a whole bunch of this.
I think this would look gorgeous in
almost
on anything.
Yeah,
even just in a bundle, it looks gorgeous.
Yeah, just as on its own, it's a beautiful display. In my house right now, I have some little jars, containers, vessels with some synthetic sprigs, and I want them to be paper, and so I'm going to make some of those for that as well.
And these are beautiful. Is this the double-sided? They feel nice and thick.
It is, yeah. All the steps and how she made this is on the tutorial, so you can do it yourself. But I definitely recommend that you make some of those.
And speaking of branches.
Crazy. This is crazy. So realistic.
Can you believe this is paper, you guys?
Yeah, this little guy's falling off. I'm going to have to glue it back on for her. I don't want to lose it. But these little seeds, look how crazy these are inside. This is the fir. This is a fir branch. Looks just like a Christmas tree. You could make a whole Christmas tree.
You could. You could. That would be a lot of fringing.
It is, but worth it. Again, this is so hardy and so usable. You can use it again and again. Use it in on wreaths or arrangements. You can see how it's kind of stiff. It feels like
Yeah.
the real deal.
Both of these just look like they could be real.
Yeah.
Just real plants sitting right in front of us.
And I think that's my goal in my house, is to replace any sort of synthetic anything with paper.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and sitting right in front of me is our member make flower this month, which are these here. You go ahead and say.
Yeah. Well, these are the red anemones, and there's a couple different techniques that we're going to learn this month at the Member Make event. And one of them is using water to pull color. As you can see, there's a lot of white pulled out of that red crepe paper. And then the second thing is there's a new technique of how to make the centers. And these are incredible. They're beautiful.
And there's no felt ball or no
spun balls.
it's all crepe.
Yeah, it's all crepe paper. So it looks incredibly realistic. And then of course we have the leaves that go with it.
It was so cute. And I don't remember the date of this, but we can put it on the screen for you and check the homepage where we will have the event linked and the date there. Is this one going to be, no, next month I'm going to be doing it.
Yeah. Okay.
This month you're going to be doing
This
it?
will be our November Member Make.
Yes,
So,
okay.
and if you can't make the Member Make, remember we'll have the replay that you can go back and see this. And this is not just, I mean, red anemone is not a Christmas flower per se. I mean, you can use anemones any time of the year. So you can make any color. It doesn't have to be red, and you can still use all these techniques.
Yeah.
So that's the beauty of it.
Just adding more techniques to your tool belt.
Absolutely. All right, what do you think? Is it time to jump in and start making all your Christmas presents and make memories through making them and through, gifting them to other people as well?
Yes, and if you bake any of these, be sure to share with us. We always love seeing what you guys make, and we hope you have a wonderful holiday.
We do. And remember that you can find all of the templates and tutorials over on leahgriffith.com.
And all of the supplies at feltpaperscissors.com.